Welcome, everybody. We're going to have everybody come over. A little chilly, but that will not dampen our spirits here for the official ribbon cutting at the former Hine Junior High School. There's coffee and hot chocolate to warm yourselves up a little bit. Plenty of seats up in front here. Plenty of seats to see everything. We are very happy to be here today. I actually was here I remember at the groundbreaking for this about 2 years ago. And I know that this project has really been a culmination of lots of people's efforts. It's been literally a labor of love for many ANC members, many council members, many stakeholder groups, and I'm sure all of them will get acknowledged here today. But first and foremost, I just want to say how happy I am that we are here finally to welcome this long-awaited mixed-use development that's going to contain affordable housing, retail, office, as well as community-serving amenities in this historic Capitol Hill neighborhood. Thank you. Lots of people obviously made today possible. Nothing would have happened obviously without the leadership of our mayor, Mayor Muriel Bowser. She was actually here at the groundbreaking as well 2 years ago, and so happy that she is here and leading us towards the actual ribbon cutting. So again, thank you very much, Mayor, for being here. The Ward 6 council member also was here at the groundbreaking, and Councilmember Charles Allen has been a tireless advocate not only for this project, but for lots of projects that are happening all around Ward 6. So we're very happy to have Councilmember Allen here. ANC 6B, who has been steadfastly supportive of this project and making sure that it happened. The Housing Finance Agency, DC's Housing Finance Agency, Todd Lee and his team are here. Our development partners of Stanton and East Bank, who will be speaking a little bit later. From the Deputy Mayor's team, we have Sarosho Padwala, our Director of Real Estate Development. He doesn't have a coat on today, but that's okay. Anna Shapiro, who I believe is also here, who has been a great project manager for this project. Patrick Smith, who is the new project manager, taking this on. Jay Sarubian in our legal department. I also see Sego Bakali here from our office as well. I know also we have some agency directors here. Polly Donaldson, the Department of Housing Community Development Director, is here. Steve Taylor from our Department of Insurance, Securities, and Banking. Also very much want to thank some of our communications people, Kate Harding and Shonda Washington as well, who have been great about making sure that these kinds of events happen exactly the way that we want. And obviously, one other agency director who's here, who's this project I think has particular importance to him, is Tommy Wells, our Director of the Office of Environment and Energy, who has former Ward 6 council member. So thank you, Tommy, for being here. Thank you for all the support you've had for this project. My hands are so cold I can't flip the pages, like literally. Our goal with every project in the Deputy Mayor's portfolio, and this has been a long-standing project that was in the Deputy Mayor's portfolio, to really transform this site into an active site, something that the community can take advantage of, and something that can continue to produce all of the additional community benefits that we want. And this mayor has in particular made affordable housing a strong component of her administration. And so very happy that this project has a number of different uses all for the community to be able to utilize. Obviously, we care when we have projects like this that are recognized by national retailers. The Trader Joe's behind us is an important grocery store component throughout our city, and I think that their participation in this project, I think, speaks to not only the importance of projects like this, but how successful I think projects like this ultimately will be. Again, I mentioned that lots of these projects like this cannot get done without a tremendous amount of support. The Ward 6 council member, Charles Allen, has been in front of this project. He's been extremely supportive, and so I'm very happy to welcome him up to have a few remarks. Councilmember Allen.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Is it still morning? Feels like afternoon. All right, good morning, everybody. So this was easy, right? Right, community? It's nice to be here, and I'm really glad to see so many faces, and proud to be here. We already acknowledged, but I do want to give a special thanks to my predecessor and the Ward 6 council member who helped get this project started. Can you guys join me in a big round of applause for Tommy Wells? This also wouldn't even be close to what we see today and have been successful without all of the commissioners from ANC 6B. There are some both past and present. Brian Pate, Ivan Frischberg, two commissioners who served fantastic and did an amazing job helping represent the community. Our current ANC 6B commissioners, Kirsten Oldenburg, Diane Hoskins, Steve Hashadorn, Chandra Jayarman, everybody who just did an amazing job of helping represent their neighborhood and their community. So thank you to ANC 6B. I was thinking a little bit as we were pulling up of a couple of the meetings, and I think a lot of people in the audience were at some of these, of how we got here. And I think, we sat back in the school over here, and then I think again over at Chamberlain over near Potomac Avenue, and we had these big community meetings where we wrestled. And we wrestled with what do we want to see, what do we want to have, and does anybody remember the dot voting that we did? That's okay, a few hands go up and remember that. But as a neighborhood, what we did is we were really trying to think through what is it that we want to see. We wanted to see a C Street reopened. We wanted to see a plaza where we could gather and see activation. We wanted to have dedicated housing, not just affordable housing, but dedicated senior housing. We wanted to see retail, local set-asides for local businesses. And we helped argue over it, push each other, pull each other, and ultimately, it's what we have. And I remember at the groundbreaking, which was right over in that spot, where we all stood together, and what I was hoping for and what I was committed to was knowing that at the end of this is a project we're going to be proud of, that we were all working hard, and as a community, we challenged each other, we pushed each other, but I think we collectively have made a better product, and that credit goes to a lot of the people that are right here. So I want to give you guys a big round of applause, and thank you. So today is a celebration, and you're going to hear the mayor talk about all what this project is. I think it's not just a celebration, though, of what is today, but I think it's a celebration of what the future will be. This project, I think, goes a long way in what we want, which is to help better connect Eastern Market and Barracks Row and really be that neighborhood hub and connector that we have. So I'm thrilled to be here today. I'm thrilled for us to cut the ribbon. Excited for everything that's going to be able to fill out, the things that we're going to have, the new residents that come in, the new businesses that show up. But we also have our next steps. So we know the Eastern Market Metro Plaza is our next step. We know so many other pieces that we're going to have in the pipeline here. But thank you to the entire community, to ANC 6B, to our Capitol Hill community, to my former Boston Ward 6 council member, Tommy Wells, and a big thank you to the mayor, whose team really helped deliver on this and drive it to the finish line. So, Madam Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Allen. Again, the council has been a tremendous supporter of this project throughout the years, and I'm extremely happy that we also have the chair of the Economic Development Committee, Councilmember Kenny McDuffie here, who has been really phenomenal in making sure that projects throughout the city not only meet their goals in terms of being completed, but really meet all the goals that we have around many of the community stakeholders, affordable housing, tax revenue, and the job creation that we want for these projects to create. So very happy to welcome up Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie.
I understand it's a little cold out here, so I think I'm going to keep my remarks very, very brief. I really just wanted to come out and support what has been done right here in this community. I've been on the council for 5.5 years, and so I've seen some of the conversations that have taken place about this project over the years. And I wanted to just come out to support my colleague from Ward 6 and the mayor of the District of Columbia because of all the hard work that they put in to make today possible. And importantly, I wanted to also come out and thank the community for everything that you all have done. We heard Councilmember Allen talk about the meetings and everybody who played a role in this, including my good friend and former councilman from Ward 6, Tommy Wells. But really, I've gone out to a lot of projects across the city in my capacity as chair of the Committee on Business and Economic Development. But what you have here is something that everybody really can be proud of. This beautifully designed buildings, you've got senior housing, affordable housing, market rate housing, you've got a wonderful Trader Joe's as here as well. And so I think this is really an example of how economic development can be done in communities across the District of Columbia where we're putting people to work during the construction phase and obviously creating jobs after as well. And so, again, thank you, Councilmember Allen. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Kenner, and everybody else in the community who made today possible. You should give yourselves a round of applause for all the work that's gone into this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember McDuffie. Most people know the mayor has tasked me with 3 jobs. If I do those 3 jobs, I don't get fired. I like to keep my job, so I'm trying to keep my job. I need to be focused around increasing tax revenue in the District of Columbia. I need to be focused on increasing jobs for D.C. residents, and I need to be focused on increasing affordable housing in Washington, D.C. And I'm very happy to report that it's projects like this that not only from a tax revenue perspective, obviously continue to activate the site and generate tax revenue, but honestly, more importantly than that, projects like this continue to provide an estimated 2,500 jobs and 700 permanent jobs ultimately, many of those obviously going for DC residents. Thank you. And even more important to me, is that we're going to be able to add 46 more units of affordable housing to our pipeline. When I come into my office every single day, I have a ticker at the top of my office, and it tells me exactly how many affordable housing units we've created, how many we're producing, and how many are in the pipeline. And so very happy that 46 more units can be added to that. One of the reasons why I have that ticker is because the mayor is incredibly focused around affordable housing. This mayor has made investments around affordable housing that have literally been unprecedented, not only in Washington, D.C., but are beginning to be nationally recognized. We have the highest per capita allocation for affordable housing in the entire country in Washington, D.C. And that was done by this mayor during this administration because she knows that we need to be reaching as many people as possible in Washington, D.C. One of the reasons why I'm very happy to welcome up our mayor, Mayor Muriel Bowser, to speak a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, hello, everybody. We were together for the groundbreaking, it seems just like yesterday, and now we're here to welcome this incredibly new development in our city. I was just chatting with Anthony, and I mentioned to him that it's so transformed here that I was almost disoriented. I had to look around to make sure I knew where I was standing. And that, I think, is a great testament to all the hard work that everyone has put into this wonderful project. It is incumbent upon all of us as we think about our future and we add housing units and we add retail options, that we are focused and intentional in making sure that we are developing our city for now, but also our city for generations to come. Like the deputy mayor said, and I promise you, Brian, you're not getting fired today. Because in the last 3 years, you have very much been focused on affordable housing, how we create additional revenues in our city, and how we employ DC residents. And in that 3 years, we've seen unemployment go down, especially in our hardest hit communities. We have seen residents and businesses flock to Washington, DC, which makes us fiscally strong and makes us have the ability to be able to make those investments in our people. Our focus for 3 years and in the years to come will be how we continue to grow our prosperity, but also making sure that more Washingtonians can participate in that prosperity. And that is exactly what I heard in a lot of conversations on Capitol Hill and in ANC 6B about this project. What you told me is, of course, we want to have a great development, but we want everybody to remember this is Capitol Hill, this is 6B. We like our Eastern market, we like our neighborhood serving retail, and we like our residents to be able to stay and live here. So let me recognize the ANC commissioners of 6B, as the council member said, who have been incredibly focused and smart and constructive throughout this entire process. So Kirsten, I believe, where's Kirsten? She here? Give her a big round of applause because she has been very, very focused and good about working with everybody. I won't tell you how when I would knock on doors in Ward 6, I had a group of people who will walk with me to talk about this project. So I'm so glad that you're here. I think that Steve and Diane, commissioners, are also here from ANC 6B. Where are you? Thank you guys for being here. And Chandler, where's Chandler? I think I did right in front. Thank you for being here, Commissioner. Give them another big round of applause. And I think I can say our cadre of commissioners across the city who are volunteers take their jobs very seriously, giving advice and constructive counsel to all of our agencies. And our agencies are serious about listening and responding to all of those concerns. I was, when this project was awarded, I believe, I was the chairwoman then of the Economic Development Committee. And now we're joined by the chairman of the Economic Development Committee today from Ward 5, Kenya McDuffie. Thank you for all that you are doing. And we are also joined by the fantastic Ward 6 council member. I used to call him the new old council member because of all his years with Tommy Wells. It was like he was the new old council member. And I've been with him a lot lately, talking about how we are reclaiming spaces in our city. Because to me, that's what we did at the wharf. We reclaimed a space on the waterfront and literally in the river with wonderful piers. And as I stand in this outdoor plaza, that's how I feel right now, like we have reclaimed some real estate in our city that we're going to make fantastic use of. Are there any vendors from our Eastern Market, Saturday and Sunday group? Well, we want you to go out and see them on Saturday and Sunday right here. Give them a big round of applause for all that they have done throughout the construction. And we all know construction isn't easy, but it's often worth it in the end. And to Anthony Lanier and his team, all of the developers, designers, architects, construction workers, bankers and investors who have been a part of this project, thank you for investing in Washington, D.C. I get to go around the nation and indeed the world and tell them about all of the things that we're getting right in Washington. But one of the biggest things I can tell you is Washington, D.C. is a safe bet. So you can invest in Capitol Hill, you can invest in Anacostia, you can invest in Hillcrest, you can invest in Shepherd Park. Every place in Washington, D.C., we are working hard to make sure it's a good investment for our city. So here you have housing, you have retail, you have outdoor space that we have reclaimed for the residents of Washington, D.C. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. Another very important partner on this project is the DC Housing Finance Agency, who every single day, quietly many times, really provides important financing, especially for affordable housing throughout the city. And they did so also for this project. This project also, I think, in particular, not only is the housing focused around some of the housing focused around affordable housing, but obviously opportunities for seniors, which is incredibly important as we need to continue to find spaces for our seniors in Washington, D.C. So please help me welcome up the director, executive director for the Housing Finance Agency, Todd Lee.
Great. Good morning, Mayor Bowser, Deputy Mayor Kenner, Councilmember Allen. The redevelopment of the Hine School is a really perfect example of Mayor Bowser's inclusive and equitable both housing, economic development, and community development plans. And DC Housing Finance Agency is really, really proud to have been a part of this. I want to congratulate Dante's partners, East Bank and Stanton Development for bringing this to fruition. The DC Housing Finance Agency issued $7.6 million worth of tax-exempt bonds and also allocated $4.6 million worth of low-income housing tax credits in order to make this project happen from a financing standpoint. I want to thank Thank you. I want to thank J.P. Morgan Chase for purchasing our bonds, and I also want to thank Wells Fargo for providing the private equity capital that fueled the low-income housing tax credit investment made here at this project. Right now, the tools that we use in order to finance these types of projects are being threatened by the proposed Republican tax bill. But under Mayor Bowser's leadership and the support of the council, our city is taking proactive steps, to protect our ability to finance affordable housing in the District of Columbia, over the next 24 to 36 months going forward. Again, I want to thank Mayor Bowser for her leadership, and I also want to thank the council, council leadership. I want to thank Councilmember Bonds for pushing legislation forward this morning. I want to thank all the council members who are present this morning who voted unanimously to move a piece of legislation that will enable us to continue to do that. I know I'm supposed to be short this morning, but I do also want to thank the DC HFA staff for working incredibly hard each and every day to make sure that these types of redevelopments happen for the residents of our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Lee. We're in our last segment here. Obviously, projects like this can't happen without strong private sector support and private sector partners, many of which are very committed to not only making sure that we bring activation to sites like this, but are thinking mindfully about the architectural features, about the community space features, and many other areas of the development that we know that communities care about. So very happy to bring up Kenneth Golding, co-president of Stanton Development, first to talk a little bit.
There are probably many reasons why a project like this is successfully completed, but one really important reason is because of the community support in Capitol Hill. I can remember 5 years ago how fortunate we were as developers to work with a terrific, forward-thinking, hard-working group of A&C commissioners who helped forge a very complicated and comprehensive memorandum of understanding. And if you go back even longer than that, I remember how Kitty, my partner, Kitty and I, were fortunate to have known three people who are no longer with us, sadly, Steve Simrot, Dick Wolf, and George Didden, who inspired us to take on this project, regardless of how daunting it seemed at the time. And there are many other people in this community, and you know who you are. The time doesn't give you enough time to really mention all of them, but they were terrifically helpful, and they showed up at those meetings, they testified at those hearings, and they were instrumental to us getting approved. And then, of course, I want to recognize and thank the mayor for her support in helping us shepherd this project through the very difficult and prolonged, protracted entitlement process. And I do need to mention former Councilman Tommy Wells and the current Councilman Charles Allen for all their input and their creative and open-minded and democratic process of working with the community to come up with what should be built here. At the end of the day, what we got is a project that meets community demands and community's needs. We have a parking facility that's not just local, but also expansive for the community around here. We have great and distinctive architecture that is complementary to the Hill and also creative. We have a new C Street that connects 7th Street and 8th Street. Have residential all on one floor, so people who want to live in Capitol Hill and not have to walk up 3 flights of stairs can live here. We have a child care facility. We have a new location and a home for the flea market. At the end of the day, I think what this means is that coming forward this spring, and I realize it's cold out here, but coming forward this spring, I look forward to seeing more people more often, and I'm particularly looking forward to seeing children playing on that water fountain on the plaza. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. Finally, we have Anthony Lanier from East Bank Development. The mayor and I were at another ribbon cutting this past Saturday that also was a responsibility of East Bank Development, so very happy to be here again with Mr. Lanier.
Thank you. Good morning. We know three things are a fact. This is soon going to be over. We have terrific politicians. And, but one thing has not been kind of said, and that is that this is a project that involves blood, sweat, and tears. And we talk about community projects and community involvement, but for a moment, if you think about that the average size building on Capitol Hill is 4,000 square feet, at the risk of being wrong, the ability to place 600,000 square feet in the midst of this without sticking out like a sore thumb is really no mere feat with everything it has accomplished. So this has pulled Capitol Hill together, and good architecture is not simply architecture that doesn't stick out, but is architecture that every time you see it, you find something new that you like about it. And credit belongs to Amy Weinstein for fighting that fight every step of the way against people who wanted to simplify the building, who wanted to cut costs, contractors who can't build what is designed, and so on. And then there goes the credit to those people who, in spite of their complaints, did pull it off, and that's the construction management, construction team, architects, designers, all who have really put a lot of effort in here. And so a round of applause to them. Other than that, I think everything has been said, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Lanier. I think we have come to the time where we are cutting a ribbon. So I'd like to ask the people on the stage to assemble right in front of the stage here.